So what is a prototype? A prototype makes an idea tangible. A lot of times it's really easy to talk, or maybe you're drawing something, sort of throwing, spend all the time in your notebook. This is the chance to get it really tangible for people to experience it. So this is a pretty famous project where we were designing a medical device. This is to remove polyps from your nose. And the previous device was it was really hard to use. And this was a prototype that a surgeon built in a kind of brainstorming prototype session, literally, obviously, with the things that were sitting right there on the table. And he was mocking up, well, what if you put the center of mass kind of in the middle of my hand and it came off like this, and hence the final product that they're now using. So really, if he had not done that and sort of waved his hands or kept quiet, it's really hard to sort of react to something. A prototype is something to react to. It's something to get feedback on. So why prototype? 3 different stages, I would say, of prototypes: around inspiring, around involving, and around validating. Here's the free question. Which stage are we going to be prototyping in today? Inspiring. We'll talk a lot about prototyping in terms of role playing, and you act something out and you're like, well, that was really awkward. Like the way I've designed this sort of drive-through experience for McDonald's. Like, I don't want to be that close to the teller. Like, we need to be farther away. Whatever it may be, you don't want to build the whole installment and then be like, oh, So it's all about inspiring what could be, not what should be or what will be. So why prototype? I'm just going to touch on these top 3. The other ones are, if we had more time, but we'll go through each of these. To allow concepts to be experienced. Second one, to encourage feedback early and often, and to fail safely, quickly and inexpensively. David's quote is, fail often to succeed sooner. So to allow concepts to be experienced. Here's, I think Ella actually pointed out this story yesterday, but this, in the bottom right-hand corner, was for a client, and I believe it was around printing pictures out on your phone. And what this is actually prototyping, all this is a photoshopped image to give the idea of what's the experience around. I've just, took a picture, I'm printing it out, and I'm sticking it to my desk. And you can sort of capture what the product's like just by doing that. This, again, is even a little higher end prototype than you guys will get into in terms of Photoshop and stuff. But we didn't have to create the camera that prints it out. It was just experiencing that. So it allows concepts to be experienced. Here's a magazine clipping that was mocked up, or a couple other experience prototypes. We learned a couple things. People really want 1, 2, 3. They want, that for them is peaceful, knowing the steps. We actually added in a 3rd step to give people that peace of mind, even though it's not necessary. So you learn that by going out and sort of testing this whatever way you can. So the value of prototypes relies less on the model themselves than the interactions they invite, the conversations that are surrounded. Fail safely, quickly, and inexpensively. Kind of a famous story. Whenever I see this picture, I wonder if that's David lying on the floor there. I haven't asked him, but I always wonder that. And they wanted us to design that seat, and we said, we'd love to work with you. Let's actually understand this concept a little more. So we quickly, in a day, built a fuselage of a plane with foam core, just like in a space like this. Took some chairs, mocked it up, and pretty quickly, I think the CEO of the company is the guy lying in the orange there. He quickly said, this is not a good idea. It's different when you wake up sort of sitting up right next to someone, but when you're lying down, it's just, you can't, you have to experience it. So it's about experiencing it. So there, company thankful, obviously they didn't put all that money into the seats and then find out that this was just an uncomfortable experience. So what are prototypes? Walk through, again, just 5 different examples here, and really want to emphasize the last one for today around storytelling. A couple stories. This was a project I was intimately involved in, and I think I mentioned this yesterday, but this was to create a transcutaneous vaccination. And the client came to us with the technology to get a protein through the skin, but they didn't know what product could do that. You basically had to abrade away a small layer of skin in order to have that molecule penetrate, the same as if you were basically scratching. But you can't, on a medical instructions for you, say scratch your skin, not too clinical. So these are, again, very physical prototypes, and this was actually once we decided there was going to be a strip of sandpaper that you'd pull through, and you can just see the evolution go, the final product that's still in clinical trials right now, that sort of place it on the skin, press the button, pull a strip of sandpaper through, and you apply the patch. I'm going to show another quick video. Yeah.
How long did that whole process take from start to finish?
The one I just spoke of? That was like a 1.5-year long program. That was a long time.
In general, just how long do these projects take?
On average, we're probably engaged with the client for like 12 weeks for a certain phase, but for engineering, it takes quite a bit longer, on a year, to do an engineering project. So, one, be positive. This is a chance to sort of get your ideas out on the table. Everyone hopefully has shows when you go back to your groups, there'll be probably 2 or 3 ideas that float to the surface. I'd recommend you guys are mostly in groups of 4 or 5, or maybe divide up in teams of 2. So 2 people can grab one idea and 2 people can grab another one, and spend 10 minutes thinking about, we really want to encourage here, because it's really easy to sort of glue some stuff together and say this is our alarm clock. Really want you guys to think of the experience. So take a little bit of time in the beginning and say, how would someone first find out about this product, right? Then how would someone maybe buy it or sign up for it, or the service, right? Or how would someone first be introduced to this on campus or out in the world? And think through that. You can literally role play. I really encourage you guys to show and not tell. What we're going to do, we're going to take about 40 minutes to prototype, and then we're going to share back as an entire group to sort of culminate kind of what the product experience is. So we have wigs somewhere, which always allow you to sort of really amazing at how you can sort of kind of put on a different persona just by putting a wig on. So very much encourage that. Once you're into it for about 10 or 15 minutes, because I don't want you to get stuck filling out a sheet. But this is a way to help you storytelling, because it will help you sort of capture what the name of your concept is, what the main idea that you're trying to capture, and then there's a way to capture feedback as well, so that as you move forward, hence if this was a project you were continuing, which maybe some of you will, you have a way to kind of build on that. But so you'll be seeing this in a few minutes. But for now, just get into things, grab that idea that got a lot of votes, and just kind of think about what the experience would be and what is the question you're trying to answer. What are you trying to get feedback from the rest of the folks here, or if you were to take this out? What did I miss?
I'm just going to add that because you guys have a bunch of ideas and what you're doing is an experience prototype, you may find that there's a number of ideas that you might put together to create an experience. And so you probably have enough time to do that. So you might start by going, okay, given everything that we designed or we brainstormed here, what's sort of this prototype for a new winter experience that you want to create that maybe assembles maybe just one or a few of these and put it together and imagine what that sort of new scenario is. Try it, put it together. You will hopefully learn something along the way. We're going to ask you to actually share. Hopefully you'll find that you need to evolve it. It's not feeling right in some way. You're going to learn something for yourself, and then since we're all users here of this experience, you're going to get to give each other feedback, and so you can think about how that next step in Brian's curve was evolving prototypes. Like, what would you do if you're going to evolve this next time? So try and keep that in your mind and create an overall experience prototype that might include one or more of these ideas.
But don't feel like you need to cram your entire board into one
please
prototype.
don't.
Don't feature
painful.
creep, as we call it, or put everything in it.
And,
No, please. I think
the other thing we were going to encourage you to do is to get physical, right? So you have Play-Doh on your table, but there's another table on the other side of the room that has pipe cleaners, cardboard, construction paper, and we have, foam core, whatever it takes to sort of make artifacts to help tell the story and work.
this is your guys' project lab. You probably know where all sorts of other stuff is to use, so feel free to grab chairs or books or whatever else can sort of show off what you have, and we'll run with that. So I'll bring the sheet around in a little bit. Any questions? That's it.
Can you make a little like?
Because they're just pads, right? You can stick them wherever, and you can stick them on the side to like. Yeah.
We can decorate.
I like this. These are this represents the light, and then this represents music.
So you can put them on like a white sheet, which could be the path of.
I mean, I guess it could go either way.
I just can't wait.
And we're
We need to stabilize this. Well, maybe
Picture the Time magazine stories already.
do you want to make like another shot?
But I guess it depends on.
No.
Can you add like a third, another dimension of stability? Gotta hold it up. Like that was a good idea. Like put another U shape.
Yeah, if it were yellow, it would be good.
And then like a big puffy jacket. Okay, we shouldn't spend too much time on this one.
Totally.
Well, let's see. If you're collecting internal tray. Yeah, and the tray could just pull out like that, like the bottom of a bird cage. You know. Yeah, like exactly. Pulls out. Exactly. So why don't I grab a piece of paper and we can just kind of cut just to show that there would be like that internal element to like clean it.
Okay. Should we cut like a hole here?
Yeah, I think we should.
And then let's
I shouldn't have taped
weave
these
it
together so hastily.
Should we weave it first and then
Instead of 8 it'll be like 11.
cut it out so that this like doesn't fall apart every time?
Do like a check or an X.
Or should we weave it last? Because that's the last.
We could do that too.
Either way. Let's weave it last. Well, let's at least cut this because it's gonna fall apart like to cut.
Oh, what else are we making?
The bar.
I can
Is there are there little like popsicle sticks? I can make a bar out of popsicle sticks.
So you were thinking instead of putting something on a jacket, making like
The rack where the jackets are,
like
could
give you
be the
information.
thing that sort of tells you like which jacket. It'd be interesting because
then
we were
you're,
thinking
like,
about the
actually
process of getting ready in the morning.
What are we brainstorming here? What are we prototyping?
Community center based out of an igloo on the golf course. So it's like an outdoor bar, fire pits, and kind of to have teach kids how to track animals in the snow. Try to
Fire
figure
pit,
out
so at night you can hang around and be warm at night.
Yeah.
A whole winter experience. Awesome.
So all you gotta do is, in the next 15 minutes, fill out the top part. Don't let it constrain your prototyping. It's just name your idea, who's it for, and what's the big idea behind it. I just give you two in case you have a couple ideas. So
We could,
here.
yeah, so we tape here.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
so like
oh,
you
yeah,
can see the
Yeah, like a thumbnail?
like a tunnel,
Yeah.
exactly. Like a tunnel. So yeah.
Here.
Good. I think that's good. That's probably good.
And then
It's so beautiful.
I think it needs more structural support.
You got some like earth-shattering, groundbreaking, paradigm-shifting, future-changing ideas that you're going to share, and a whole new experience that looks nothing like the experience we're having today.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Awesome. So get ready to do that in just a couple of minutes. And what we're going to do is we want no more than a minute a piece, right? Like, you know, the whole Jaws in space idea, like being able to tell someone really quickly what your idea is, and we're going to have you actually just do your experience prototype. Prototype the experience in front of us. Don't talk about it.
Is that okay?
Experience it, okay?
We need a name.
All right, let's do it.
Oh man, I'm so sick of sitting around all winter and doing nothing.
I know, this is terrible. We need to change our ways. I bought this app we could look at.
Oh, cool.
Okay. This is the Winter Wonder app.
Oh, nice.
So let's see what happens. We could search it or it could surprise us. Should we search first? That seems safer.
Sure. Let's
Okay, let's search. Okay, done with that. Where are we? I would like to use our current location. Okay, we can do that. Yes, allow Hanover. Okay. What are our options? We could cross country ski, or we could go skating. Great, skating. Let's do it. Oh, no, don't want you to do it. What level? Definitely moderate. Can't handle anything more than that today. Occam Pond. Also. Well, so now we have Occam Pond as a review. We should go now and get directions. Cool. All right, let's see what happens when we do the surprise me one. All right, within 1 mile. We want to do by moderate. Go skating. Surprise me. Occam Pond. Only one place. All right. And part 2 of ours is the other option that could have come up here if we had selected under the special activities button. We could have come to the The bright room. The bright room.
Right. So, as many of you know, spending too much time inside, or during the winter when there's reduced sunlight, can really put you in a bad state of mind. And Dr. I believe Norm Rosenthal, diagnosed seasonal affective disorder. And many of you may be familiar with the sun lamps, but we were proposing the bright room, and we envisioned a multi-use space where you can see it in a dorm or maybe a place like Thayer School. It'd have plenty of windows and sun lamps. You'd be able to go and either work or relax, and it'd lift your mood.
You had an experience prototype and a demo. Hey, what did you guys learn by doing this? Did you change anything about your idea while you were doing it?
Or making prototypes. I think we had to actually flesh it out a little bit. I don't think we had like a really firm idea. I didn't have any firm idea of what this was going to be. So that's what's totally evolved as we did it.
So do we love that experience, or is there something that could be, what's one thing you could evolve next time in your experience?
Think about like how you use the thing. Like for example, with the room, we first thought of just a lot of lamps. Then we thought about what you could actually do in it. And like, oh, you could do homework, you could watch TV, have some couches or bean bags, and think about how you're going to use it on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. How does it fit into the flow of life here? Cool.
Sweet guys! I'm so glad we made it to the Dartmouth Skiway. I think we should take a video and upload it to the web.
Yeah, maybe we could win that competition and
yeah.
get sweet prizes.
That Dartmouth Winter Web competition that accepts media to advertise the Dartmouth Winter Experience. Let's contribute.
Oh my God, I'm a little nervous.
Go, Jake, go!
That was so rad!
Cool, sweet. Now let's upload it to the Dartmouth Winter Web mobile app.
Let's see. Here's the web. Here's the app, and let's just click video, and let's turn to
another iPad.
This. And yeah, let's create this video, and let's see.
Oh wait.
Oh there. Let's see how he plays.
Yeah.
And let's vote for him.
Yeah.
Okay. And then.
So we proposed the user group would be kind of maybe those who are less enthused about the winter. Actually, all Dartmouth students in general, because one of our main how might we questions was how do we spread the love. And so we came up with a contest called the Dartmouth, well, we were just calling it Dartmouth Winter Web because we made an app where you could upload media, photos, video, and stories.
And there were a lot of different categories, so it'd be accessible to everyone. There were some sweet action ones like this one. And then there were also, like, you could do nature, there's a nature category, a friends category, and some other categories, so anyone could conceivably write a photo, write a story, take a photo, or take video that could be entered in the contest.
We'd also have a website that would also advertise like cool stuff on the weekends that's fun to do, and the weather, and basically it would be a contest over a few weeks, and everyone would be encouraged to upload stuff, and you could vote on things and watch submissions and look at different stuff and get excited about the winter.
Hey!
Cool. Quick feedback, quick thoughts.
It's cool.
I love how simple your prototypes were, but how into it you guys got. And I also really like how you took something that was very like media, it's like traditional, but you gamified it, which is really fun and interesting.
I also like how it's a relatively common thing to upload video, but it definitely purposes it to the community, and everybody can see what everybody else nearby is doing.
Cool.
Thanks, guys.
All right,
Next
another
group.
one.
There's literally 7 feet of snow accumulated in my driveway. And there's none in yours. Why is there no snow in your driveway?
Well, I have Kaplow.
What's that?
Well, Kaplow is an autonomous plow that periodically through the night will plow the snow out of my driveway. He knows what the shape of my driveway, and when it's just an inch thick, he'll plow it, and I don't have to do a thing. I can just wake up late and make it to work on time, no problem.
So Kaplow just plows a few inches of snow throughout the night instead of having to do 7 feet in the morning.
Yeah, I'm getting older, and my back can't handle that. So I need Kaplow.
I'm getting lazy and I don't want to handle that. Awesome. I should get me one of those.
Okay.
Thoughts?
Genius.
Yeah, so we imagined it would have a solar-powered snow detector, so it would snow on the detector, it would detect the weight of the snow, and possibly melt it afterward and eject it out of the way to signify when it should plow.
Okay, so it's summertime right now, so I just love the summer, you know, you're done with class, you can just wander around, play frisbee, it's great, you know, what have I got next? I don't know, I'll worry about it in a couple of hours. It just works, it's fine, and yeah, it's great. Now it's, where's my coat? Just grab my coat. It's winter time. It's really cold, and I gotta get from A to B. I'm just shuffling, really depressed, you know, there's just nothing to do, you know, just moving from A to B. I wish there was something, some place I could go. Presenting
A.5. The midpoint between A and B. So in the winter, we're all about getting from A to B, and we do it as fast as possible. But in the summer, we wander all around. We go wherever. And the thing is, when you wander all around and you take a circuitous path, there's greater chance for intersection, meeting more people, talking about interesting things. When everyone's taking a straight line, not as much of an opportunity for intersection. So what we have created is A.5. And A.5 is this awesome, light-filled, heated, cool structure.
Transparent as well.
Transparent as well. In the middle of the green. Such that anyone who's leaving A moves through A.5 carefree. Eventually moving to B, and while you're in A.5, it's possible that you can meet new friends, talk about fun things, smile a few more times than you would otherwise. I present to you the before, and now the after with A.5.
All right. One comment?
I really liked your guys' energy in terms of trying to pitch it as something that's like, there's a degree of whimsy to it, which is something that you don't really have in the winter a lot. When you're so head down, really going A to B, that A.5 adds something that you're missing.
But you want to actually be careful, right? These aren't meant to be pitches. They're meant to be experienced prototypes, right? Because you want to be open to the notion that, like, you're not so vested in this thing that you're pitching that, like, it's yay or nay the idea, right? It's much more about, is this experience valid? And but that whimsy, I think we all could relate to. We're like, yes, actually, that's gone in my life right now. Okay.
Bob is a freshman at Dartmouth, and he just moved here from Texas, which means that 29 degrees Fahrenheit doesn't mean very much to him. So he has a little trouble deciding what to wear in the morning because, like, the number is kind of abstract and doesn't know how cold it's actually going to be. So we have iWear, which is going to be an app on the iPad, I guess, another app. And what iWear does is it tells you, it tells you what today's weather is, what it feels like, and gives you comparison of if it's warmer or colder than yesterday. And it also does a nifty thing where it suggests how many layers of clothing that you will want today. So Bob will choose what he's gonna wear. And so he'll have a better idea of like how many layers he needs today and so on and so forth. And he'll go about his day and he'll be hopefully warm. But at the end of the day, Bob will come back to his dorm and he'll give feedback to iWear. And he'll decide if the scarf was too heavy or if the long sleeve shirt wasn't enough or if the jacket was too warm or too cold or perfect. And that way iWear can adapt with how Bob's preferences for certain types of weather and give him better suggestions in the future.
I'm so late for class. What am I going to do? I'm getting ready. I need a coat. Wait, it's cold out because this is blue. All right, I need my warm coat. Okay. Yeah. So, that was kind of fast. But basically, what we invented is a coat rack that just lights up in a different color depending on how cold it is outside so that you know what kind of coat you need to wear, which is especially good for people who live in rooms that don't have windows or like access to what temperature it is outside. And so if you're out of time, it just kind of lights up in a different color. So it'll be like blue if it's really cold, or then like green if it's warmer, and like yellow and red if it's really hot out. And if you have a lot of time, there's an option where you can, press a button and have a whole weather report come up, and it tells you if it's gonna like snow later. But also, it's just pretty simple if you're like running out of time and you need something that's just gonna say like, it's cold, and you can see like blue, warm coat, and just go.
Yeah, it's a lot like the app we just saw, but it would be in a coat rack. So it's like right next to where you keep all your coats, and you like maybe like hang it over your door, or like attach it to your coat rack in some way. So it's like always like it's like as you're grabbing your coat, you just see this like one color, and simplify the whole process.
Yeah, we went through like kind of the process of waking up in the morning. We were thinking of like where would you most likely be able to see something that would tell you like what you're gonna need to wear. So like we were thinking like you could check your phone, but that's kind of time consuming. You could like, what if your toothbrush, like because you always brush your teeth in the morning, like what if that was a different color, but like how would you connect that to like when you're actually getting your coat? And so we figured ultimately like your coat rack is like hopefully right there where your coat is, so that would really give you like a good idea. Like unless you're me and you just like throw your coat on the floor, that's not helpful. But so yeah, that was
Great.
Okay, so you're
Isn't it cold?
This is so cold.
And this place is really too far away. I don't think.
welcome. Please come in. We're up by the fire.
What is it?
Wow. Okay, so this is our it's called the winter hotspot. Well, all your worries are now gone. You're now inside of a igloo. As you can see, okay.
Yeah.
So in this igloo we have food. There's a bar outside right by the fire pit, serving hot drinks, cold drinks, bars, or it could be upside down. That's fine. If you have kids, there's a kid lot. We can teach them about tracking animals.
We got a little offshoot igloos if you can go follow a path.
Yeah, so if you're hiking and so there's like warm-up spots, similar to A&a-half, but it's for the outdoor variety.
All my worries are not gone yet. It's winter. I can't go shopping for my groceries.
We got an outdoor market with little tents, squash and potatoes and other things that are winter time for the market. It's not that many.
I think I'm going to stop here each time I go anywhere. I mean, I can get everything out here. It's a nice place, pretty warm.
So there's that, and then we have a diagram. We have two ideas, and the other idea is
I'll just get that.
opening the steam tunnels. So there's a steam thing. I think we should open the steam tunnels. We think we should open the steam tunnels and renovate them and put happy lamps in them so they're bright, and then we don't even have to go outside if this just seems too much. So, there, steam tunnels.
If you want to talk about the happy lamp before.
Well, there's, because it'll be really dark in the tunnels, so happy lamps, tunnels.
Good transformation of Hanover, I guess.
Anyone have feedback to these guys? Or did you guys learn anything in the process?
This was the idea of having a community center allowed us to bring a bunch of our ideas together. At first we wanted just to have only fire pits everywhere, only igloos everywhere, or outdoor bar was an idea.
Yeah, so they all kind of clubbed together to get a holistic experience kind of thing.
Yeah. Great.
Oh man, I have class early tomorrow. It's gonna be so dark because it's winter and it's always dark in the morning. Ugh, I'm so not looking forward to waking up.
Wake up!
Oh hey, the happy lamp lit up gradually for me, so it was like a sunrise, and I'm much more awake now than if I had to wake up in the dark and in the cold and in the miserable. So, okay, I'm awake, I'm ready to go to class, and I'm walking to class. Oh man, I have to go so far to class, but I can either take the icy, dangerous shortcut through the lawn, or I can go all the way around and be late but be safe. What should I do? Oh hey, looks like they set out these pads that heat up when you step on them because they're the magical material that he will explain later. And I can take the shortcut and not worry about falling and dying. Woo! And I made it to class on time.
Nice experience prototype. Low res, high experience fidelity, low prototype fidelity. Love it. Cool.
Can we explain the technology?
Moving.
Yay.
Okay. Nice.
Ugh, I have to wipe my feet again. I'm tracking in all this disgusting stuff into my apartment. I can never keep it clean. I can never not wear shoes in my apartment, which doesn't make sense. And I have 5 different mats. What should I do?
I understand. I used to spend all my time mopping the floor, and I had 5 different mats, each one filthier than the next. Until I got this product. It's a doormat, but it has 2 parts. There's the grid where you wipe your feet, and then the tray that collects all of the dirt. So instead of just the doormat getting filthy and disgusting and just tracking everything in, now I just take out this simple tray, dump out all of the dirt, and then put it right back in. And now I have only 1 doormat, and it's really pretty fun colors.
Looks like you tracked a worm in too. That's pretty gross.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Good thing for the doormat.
Excellent.
Yay.
So it's also kind of like a combination of the grates, and it's actually more like a mat, like a finger mat, more or less. So it catches what you step on. It doesn't just as you step on it fall through. It also collects it too. So, yeah.
And then it's easy to clean.
And easy to clean.
Prototyping. Your experience of experience prototyping was
Vigorous.
vigorous. Is that the word?
Yeah.
Colorful.
Okay.
Creative.
Insightful.
Blind.
Systematic. What did you say? Systematic?
Yeah. Iterative.
How you guys flow on this one?
Playful.
Playful.
Energizing.
Okay. Is there anything bad about it? A little chaotic. Which is not a huge surprise to us because I think people really get a lot out of this. There's also lots of research about how making things with their hands makes us feel good and think good. We say build to think. I don't know if you use that phrase yet, but a lot of building to think here. Fantastic. Okay, anything else?
Simple.
Simple. Okay, so here we are at the workshop, and we are feeling no pressure here at all. No. Stop. All right. Yay, here we go. Here's your journey. Isn't it beautiful? All right. Where's Brian?
I'm right here.
Would you like to do some
Yeah,
wrapping?
closing thoughts. How to close them. There's always the and this is obviously 4 hours or so. It's just a taste of kind of what we do every day, and sometimes it's as playful as this, and sometimes it's like we've been saying earlier, staring in front of a CAD and kind of almost in a way using this process, but just with a different challenge. So we'd welcome your kind of feedback, whether afterwards or we'll be around for a conversation. But I guess we've done this mood map. It's interesting to see kind of where your high points and low points were. But this is a process that we use. We don't have Play-Doh every day at work, but we use a fair bit. And just, I guess, encourage you, in terms of the prototype in particular, it's hard to do it in that small amount of time. You want to go to a product, you want to go and make something, but to really try and, if it's going to be a product, if it's going to be experience, do it as quickly as you can to experience that, so you can get that. Basically, what's the feedback I'm getting? I'm not trying to, Ella was being stubborn. It's not a demo. It's not you're not on stage, because this is a chance to accept that feedback. Like that, it doesn't really make sense. I wouldn't buy that. Or asking questions, where would I buy that? Or who would use that? Or how could I share this? Or all these different things that could come up. So treat it as a way to just get reactions. So whether it's, the design process can be used, in this space, whether you're in engineering school, or hopefully if you're David Kelly joked about, you're planning a dinner party, you know, spend the time to think like, what are the needs of the folks who are coming, and how could I actually be creative in what I'm doing, and how could I really quickly prototype something and sort of have an open mind to that. So I think you guys have heard a lot about design thinking over the shortened weekend. I don't need to sort of summarize all those, but if you have any closing thoughts as well, or Peter, if you have sort of some points maybe to hit that you've been talking about in your classes.
Well, I think the response was terrific. I was very pleased with how everybody threw themselves into this, really did some homework. There were photos and a lot of thoughtful observations that came in this morning. And I thought this was really sort of fun exercise. And we really hope that you also enjoyed the chance to sort of interact with students, you know, different from the spheres you work in. There were students here from Tuck School and a few from the med school and different classes and so forth. I'd like to end by thanking Brian and Ella for putting together such a wonderful experience, and also Tegan and Christine, who were the key organizers of this whole event. So I think a round of applause for
We're thinking real time here.
We're gonna put out one last question for you guys. You guys have
good.
like
Go
2
for it.
minutes.
That's fine.
We're gonna go a little over 3:30.
Yeah.
We're never late for anything at IDEO. Actually, maybe it's 2. First of all, I mean, I know some people have taken, you know, design thinking. So, on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being like this was not very different for me. I do this every day. I live and breathe this stuff. To 5, I've never done this before, and there's no right or wrong answer. Just for us to know how different was this day and a half from kind of what you normally do. 1s, I do this all the time. I live and breathe it. 2s, it's fine to be either way. This is just for us. 2s are really shy. Okay, so people do it. People are doing this a lot. 3s, okay, sort of. I kind of do this. 4s, pretty new. Okay, 5. Wow, that's just totally blew out of the water. Totally new. Wow, cool. That's just for our gratification. Okay. And then just anything, whether you've done this before or not, that you might take away and do differently, just in your career, in your life, in your dinner party, like just any takeaways from you guys?
Yeah, maybe it's an aha, you know, from this part of the process.
Any of this,
or
yeah, something you want to work on more?
Or questions, confusion.
Or questions.
Well, I have a question, and I would probably take away the prototypes, that you do lots of prototypes, because it's always been super time crunch, so you try to get as much thought out as possible, and then you build it, and you're like, hope it works. The quick and dirty prototypes is kind of new and interesting. I like that. My question is like, no, I've forgotten my question.
We can come back.
Yes, come back.
Here.
I was just gonna say, Peter touched on this too, but the mix of people I thought was really cool, and so if you were to do this again, I think definitely try to get as many different types of people to come to it, and then I think it would be cool at the end to have a reflection about how this type of thinking can be taken into different arenas, like on campus and in different careers and stuff like that, because I know not everyone here is going to be doing like this exact, like, you know, designing products and experiences, but you know, Katie asked a question the other day about like doing it in her daily life.
Give a thought.
Oh, I was just going to add to Alicia's point. When we do a lot of cases at Tech, like it's very structured, and we have this, I think, default to just jump right into solving, and so it reaffirmed, I think, the value of just taking a step back and spending time to just think more holistically with no necessary goal in mind, and just letting yourself think. And I think that, for me, that was a refreshing, I think, takeaway.
I actually had a question. We did it most of us did it for the very first time, but you probably end up doing this on a day-to-day basis. Does the innovation take a step back when you do it every day? Do you take breaks to revive the innovation or the novelty of this? Because we were really excited about it today. If we do this on 7 days of the week, we might probably, you know what I'm saying? How do you work with being innovative every day and creative every day?
So like culture is so important to IDEO.
Yeah, I know David spoke to that a little bit. That's why I think, like you said, the culture is creating a space. We go through cycles where we're out doing research for a couple weeks and then we're coming back, building prototypes or brainstorming. You know, we're not brainstorming 5 hours a day. Like, you run out of creativity there. But it's having a culture that's open to that. You're excited about being around people. You're excited about being around, but you have to have pauses of it. You know, that's why we don't work 7 days a week, or else we wouldn't be effective.
Yeah, and again, you own it, right? So if you are out of brainstorming juice and you need to step back and think big picture, you as a team own that, and you can go back and do it. No one's telling you what order you have to do things. You own your own creativity, and if you need to just go home, you need to go home or take a walk or go have lunch or whatever. You own it.
Great, yeah, well, it's neat to hear you guys touch on all the different parts of the process. Whenever I end these, I always wish you could have more time in each of the buckets because it's just a taste.
Or at the end, I think that was a great point about applying it and going forward. So I hope that you will take the time to do that.
Yeah, to reflect yourself. So, it would have been great to do another round of prototyping, to take some of the back of your prototyping sheet had feedback to collect, and so if it's something, think about that as you go in these projects, not just like, I did my presentation. It's like, how can I get feedback tomorrow on this thing I'm working on and build on it? I have many stories, as someone just said over there, of my beautiful prototype I brought into my final project, and how many times I wish I could have just done a lot more iterations, or brought some people in from different disciplines. Grab your roommate and brainstorm on a problem that you have, whether it's in an art history, something or other, or an engineering problem. So take a couple of those takeaways away and think about how it can be part of your own design process through your different classes.
I would say the other thing that I would hope people take away from this is really a sort of understanding of enjoyment and joy in the process versus just focusing on the goal. Instead of just trying to get to the answer as soon as possible, really having some commitment to and confidence in following the process, you'll find something wonderful. And I think that's really part of this magic.
Cool. Well, we'll let you guys go. We'll be mingling around for other sorts of questions. But thanks, guys, for your time. I know that was a Friday evening and a Saturday day.